I've returned, Link's left-hand man with Starfox 64. This is a game that I've been wanting to talk about for a while because it is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. And I can always replay it, and it will never let me down. Alright, there's a bunch of levels in this space-filled adventure, so let's get right down to it, shall we? You start off in level 1, Corneria, as most Star Fox games start out, and you see a city that is completely destroyed.
This is horrible.
By Andross's forces, and you need to fight them all off. This level is a perfect beginning level because it shows you that you'll have to follow behind your squad mates and make sure they're not going to die at certain points, like Slippy and Falco being followed at different points in the level.
I'll take this one. Get the one behind me.
And there are two ways to beat this level. There's the regular way and then the secret path, which takes you up north instead of to the right on the map screen.
Follow me, Fox. Falco, where are you going? I found the target. Try to keep up.
Next up we have Meteo, the asteroid field, where you have to traverse the asteroids, as it were. We have more of Peppy getting careless.
They're on me! I'm getting careless! Thanks, Fox.
Trying to take care of your skin by teaching you how to use the boost and the brake, and teaching you how to do a barrel roll again!
Do a barrel roll!
There are two ways to exit this level. There is a warp, and then there's also the normal way of doing things. First up is Ficina, the first all-range mode level in the game. This is a mode where you have free-flying ability instead of the normal on-path that you have to take. You get to fly around in a square that the map is, obviously, and you do dogfighting instead of going straight and trying to shoot things that are in front of you. You find out halfway through that you need to take out a bomb that is planted at the base.
Why are ships coming out of the base?
I won't let you. A bomb has been planted at the base. Gee! Can anyone take care of it?
And this bomb is being protected by none other than your rival, the Star Wolf team. How original. There's Star Fox team, and then Star Wolf comes around to just take them out. This team consists of Leon, the lizard, who I don't know why he's there. Then you've got Andrew Oinkeny, who is the nephew of Andross. You've got Pigma Dengar, who betrayed your team. Well, rather, your father's team when Peppy and your father were on it. It was a three-man team, and he led them straight to Andross. And then you've got Star Wolf, who is just the leader of the team. There's not really much backstory behind him, except that he hates Fox, and that's just about it. After taking out the Star Wolf team, you go to Sector X Combat Zone, where you try to take out Andross's secret weapon that he has. Strangely enough, this is the only level in the game where there are 3 branching paths that you can take after this level has finished. You can do the warp and go all the way up to the hard levels, right near the end of the hard levels. You can do the normal route and go to Solar, I believe it is. Or you can colossally screw up and Slippy gets bitch slapped all the way to Titania.
Let me handle this.
Slippy, get back here! Slippy!
Since we're first following the easy levels, it looks like we're letting Slippy get bitch slapped, which is the only way that you can actually get to Titania. Titania was designed as a punishment level for those who didn't exactly beat Sector X the correct way and kill the secret weapon in time. Titania is an arid wasteland in which you're trying to find Slippy, and this is the first time that we see the Landmaster utilized in the game. For a lot of people, this was the final level that they ever reached in the game because Titania is difficult, and if you don't exactly do things the right way getting to Titania, then you won't usually be able to pass it. This is the first level that I ever played because when I went over to one of my friend's house, he had Starfox 64, and he was stuck on Titania indefinitely, and I was able to beat the level and move on, and we still didn't beat Andross that run because we didn't have enough lives, but it's just a punishment level for people who aren't quite good enough to beat the first 4 levels succinctly. This level really shows the team coming together as a team, because even though Falco is talking a lot of crap about Slippy, he still is worried about him and trying to find him, you know, and you see Peppy trying to say, "Don't be dead, Slippy," because it's a dire time for the Starfox team, and it's really important that they keep all their members together, especially Slippy, who practically makes the R-Wing himself.
Don't be dead, Slip.
Ah! I'm hit!
Is that you, Slippy? I'll be there soon. Slippy!
I knew you'd come help me.
Bolt's Defense Station. Practically, it's destroy the 6 energy towers so that you can unlock the force field and then kill the core. Not really much to this level. There's a cool gravity change in this level, though, where you can't exactly fly correctly until the force field's done, but that's about it to this level. There isn't really much to it. And then we have Venom. The front side of Venom, at least, where there are all kinds of crazy ships all flying at you all at the same time. You got 100 monkeys flying at you all in one specific shot. You can get 100 kills within like the first 2 seconds of the level if you have a couple bombs on you. This level is absolutely insane and has so many things flying at you, you don't even know what to do with your hands while the level's going on. There's a couple different branching pathways, and then after that, you find yourself at a temple where you chase a runner down, and then you kill the runner. And then, when you kill the runner, Fox then goes into Andross's portal to go kill him.
I'll go it alone from here.
Fuck!
Lo and behold, it was just a trap, though. The thing that you kill is a robot created by Andross. You have not quite succeeded in your mission. So, try again. Alright, round 2. Let's take the medium path, and to do that, first you have to get to Sector Y Combat Zone. Sector Y Combat Area is Corneria's final line of defense before Venom hits it. And so, you try to stop Venom's forces from entering Corneria, because there's already been some scouts that have entered it, but there are some big battleships trying to get in, and you need to stop them. In order to get the next level, you need to get 100 kills in Sector Y. If you don't, then you go down to Katina. If you do, then you get to go to Aquas, which is one of the most unique levels in the game. But seeing as we're not quite on the hard mode yet, we're going to Katina. Katina, the infamous mothership level. You get to team up with one of the coolest characters in the game, Bill, who owns his own couple of units in the Cornerian army, the Husky unit, and I believe the Bulldog unit is the second unit that he commands.
Fox, you made it! Bill! Is that you? I can't believe it! We can catch up later, Fox.
Your team and all of Bill's team try to fly around and kill all these bad guys until you find out there's an enemy mothership approaching!
Enemy mothership approaching!
This mothership needs to be killed within the correct amount of time. If it does not, you get sent down into the easy levels again. If it does, then you get to go to Solar, which is the next level on our path.
Yeehaw! You did it!
Solar, one of the most unique levels in the entire game. The temperatures on this planet are up to 9,000 degrees, and so what happens is your ship is damaged from the beginning of the level, and the closer that you are to the lava, the more damage you take. So you have to remain up in altitude, and there are silver and gold rings everywhere to make it so that you can regain your health, because you are constantly losing it. And if you came from Katina, there's Bill to help you out.
Looks like you could use some help, Fox. Bill! Don't get too excited. Here we go. Watch yourself, Fox.
He comes in and drops a bunch of items that you can use to help yourself out, which is honestly pretty cool. The other level that Bill shows up in is Sector X if you fail Katina, which he still helps you out even though you kind of blew up his base. So, I mean, he's a pretty nice guy. After Falco has some domestic disputes with other birds.
Jesus, buddy, go away! Good riddance. That was burn.
And then you fight this lava braying mantis monster. It is on to Macbeth. Macbeth is one of the funniest levels because the train conductor that you're trying to take down this whole time is literally talking to you the entire time, and he degrades you the entire way, and he says the most random things which turn out to be super funny. He just sounds like the most racist monkey you've ever heard of that drives a train, and he's also like a hick too, so you've got all that going for you on that level. There are two ways of beating this level. You can either kill the train, which is the worst thing to do, or you can have the train hit the switches, and the switches send the train into the armory bunker and blow it all up in a humongous explosion. It is wonderful.
Step home again. Good going, Buck. No! Give the blade! I can't stop it!
After Macbeth, you either go on to the easy or the hard routes for the rest of the way. So I'm just going to begin right back over to Sector Y. After Sector Y, once you've got 100 kills in Sector Y, you then go to Aquas. By the way, Macbeth is the only other level that you get to play in the Landmaster, so there's only 2 levels with that. Aquas, the underwater level. It's the only level where you don't get any support from any of your teammates. They just talk to you throughout the level. You are in a submarine that Slippy created, and it is crazy. You have infinite missiles, and you also have your lasers. So, I mean, you have infinite missiles. You're gonna use the missiles. I mean, let's be real. There are all manner of sea creatures that are trying to eat you, or kill you, or blow you up.
Whoa! What's up?
Do a barrel roll!
And you've got to beat them all out until you get to the secret enemy bioweapon, which is a humongous clam that you need to kill his top barnacles, and then he opens himself up, and then you have to shoot the things that are connecting his bottom and top shell, and then they turn hard after you shoot them with lasers for some reason. Then you blow them up with missiles, and then the shell blows off, and then you get to hit him in the eyeball, and the eyeball is where his health is. There you go. That's the level. There it is. A giant clam is the boss for the level. I would have taken like a shark, or a whale, or an irradiated monkey, scuba diver, or something, but a clam. And it doesn't even look like he has any like bio weapons on him or any missiles or anything. He just shoots clam pearls at you. That boss really didn't make much sense to me. After Aquas, which is a beautiful water level, you get to the most disgusting level in the game, Zonus, which is turned into a toxic waste facility practically. The water is so bad that if you fly down near it, your ship just bounces off of it because it is so gross. To beat this level correctly, you have to take out every single one of the searchlights, which is pretty difficult because there are a lot of places where the searchlights are, and if you don't have all 3 of your guys good to go, then this level can be pretty difficult. Here enters this second character in the game that is a special character. We've got Cat.
We're closing in on them, Falco. Take the right leg, boy. I have the left.
Cat, what are you doing here?
Is that any way to greet a girl?
Who She is Falco's ex-girlfriend, or at least that's kind of what is implied, because Falco tries to stay away from her, but Kat is always talking up Falco. It's pretty funny. If you save her ass, she's gonna do the favor right back to you and save your ass, because there is 2 searchlights that you really cannot get to, and she gets the perfect angle on them and shoots them if you're able to save her before she gets, blasted away by these enemies and she can't return to the fight. If you are able to do Zonus correctly, which is fairly difficult because there's a lot of things that are involved and you have to make sure to hit every searchlight, then you get to go to Sector Z. The enemy army is gunning for you. There are missiles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that they shoot towards the Great Fox. The first round is Missile 1, second round is Missile 1 and 2, then third round is Missile 1, 2, and 3. These missiles come fairly quickly, so if you're not prepared for them, they will hit the Great Fox, and you'll get sent all the way back to Bol's defense station, so you really want to beat Sector Z perfectly. Funnily enough, Kat comes in and helps you out, just like Bill if you ended up saving her in the previous level. And if you ended up saving her in the previous level, but you didn't quite beat all the searchlights, then she helps you out in Macbeth.
Right behind you!
Are you gonna hog all the fun?
Cat, can't you go bother someone else?
Let me help you out.
Almost the final level, you've got Area 6 Defense Zone. This is my favorite level of all time. This is the craziest, most obnoxious level where literally everything is coming at you. It's even crazier than the Venom on the easy side, because the Venom on the easy side is just easy enemies. This is all a ton of different enemies, and it feels like it's the Armada, and you're just punching right through all of them and trying to get right to Venom by taking out as many people on their force as you possibly can. It's a wild ride. The Starfox team has been able to tap into their radio systems, so whenever you break through each line of defense, every time you breach one of their lines, you can hear them start to freak out more and more, and then the Gator, who's the leader of Area 6, does not want to bring out the secret weapon. It must be a prototype that wasn't ready yet, but you've got to bring it out.
Gang! Deploy it now!
Enemy ahead! This one's different.
Christ! We were so close to Venom!
The UFO. Not to mention that you get 3 seconds to save Slippy. He says, Venom's right there, and is literally at like 0 health, and if you don't shoot that thing immediately, you lose Slippy for the next level, which is a ton of bullcrap.
Venom's Woo! That was too close!
Final level, Venom. But this time you're on the backside because you came right to the area where Andross is, and protecting Andross is none other than Starwolf. Starwolf ships are now more powerful and faster than the R-Wings, which means that your guys are going to be in trouble a lot because, obviously, they're outmatched now because of their new ships. If you're able to get through that encounter, then you get to face Andross again. This time you go through a winding cavern instead of a just straight shot, which means this is the actual real Andross. Once you get into his layers, then you get to fight Andross, and this time when his skin is pulled off, it happens to reveal Andross's brain.
Only I have the brains to rule my life.
So, Andross, you show your true form.
It is not a robot. It is his actual brain. So then you go into all range mode and do fight with his eyeballs and brain, which is the weirdest concept of boss that I've ever heard. Well, over in Earthbound there was the fetus that you have to fight at the end of the game, but this is up there, a brain and eyeballs. Come on. And then after you defeat him, you hear those words.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Don't ever give up, my son.
Father?
Follow me, Fox.
James McCloud has come back, or at least his ghost, I guess, has come back. It's never really explained in any of the game or anything like that, but he comes back to save Fox in his moment of need, making it so that he can get out of that cavernous dungeon alive. And this is probably one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the game, because your dad is pretty fast. He can get it, even though he's a ghost, which, I mean, would probably make him faster. And then in the title screen, there's a little star ding, that shows that was kind of him going up into heaven. That's my guess, but I mean, you know, there are a bunch of theories out there. Starfox 64 gets a 9.2 out of 10 in my book. Incredible. The reason why he gets that score and not a lower or higher score is because it is a almost perfect game. Almost perfect execution of this game. But there are some caveats. Star Fox Original on the Super Nintendo had a lot of the same elements, a lot of the same levels, a lot of the same backstory. So, I mean, to be honest, they didn't really come up with anything new. But what they did was create a perfectly voice acted, with the best voice actors that I could possibly imagine for these characters, and perfectly well-rounded space shooting experience on rails that you could ever make, you know. And they threw in the submarine in one of them, and then they threw in the Landmaster in a couple of them too, so it, you know, made it so it wasn't all repetitive. This game is perfectly polished, but it is not perfect because it's not new. So there you go. 9.2 out of 10. If you've never played this game, you have to play this game. There is no reason not to. I have played it about 300 times in my lifetime, and it takes about 30 minutes each time. That just goes to show how many hours I put into this damn game. So, yeah, I will be returning with more content. Be on the lookout for any of my new stuff, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I know it ran a little long, but I just love to talk about some Star Fox. I mean, it's seriously one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, thank you for listening, and this is linkslefthandman signing off.
You've become so strong, Fox.
Okay!
Way to go, Fox!
That's our leader. What's wrong, Fox? Nothing. Nothing's wrong.